What is up, people? CBD Reviews in the house with a lovely guest, Aaron from Daily CBD.
What's up, Aaron?
And we are here today to talk about the differences between full spectrum, broad spectrum, and CBD isolate.
Yes.
Take it away, Bevan.
Wow. So there's a lot of going on. Companies keep saying they're full spectrum, but they have no THC. And for me, that's kind of impossible because full spectrum have some THC in there. Even if it's 0.3, it's still THC. And somebody who's have to worry about drug testing, they could fail a test after a few weeks, maybe even months of just constantly taking full spectrum. So we wanted to just talk about the difference between full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate. So full spectrum, the purest form of full spectrum is a plant. The flower, pre-rolls, that's purest form of full spectrum. You get all the cannabinoids in there. Depends on the strain, it varies in percentage depending on the strain. I know Bubba Kush has higher CBD content than some of the other strains. Broad spectrum is without the THC. That's considered broad spectrum because you're removing the THC. And isolate is basically just CBD isolated by itself. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I have a whole new perspective on full spectrum now that I've understood like a bigger education on how flower works and how like the differences between flower and concentrate, because flower is just as it is, you're not doing anything to turn it into something else, and that's like its most natural form, right? So basically we consider that as full spectrum because you're getting the whole plant. You're getting the cannabinoids, the terpenes, and all the other phytocannabinoids that are included in the plant. And with concentrates and oils, I mean, you're not getting all of the cannabinoids in there. You're only getting X amount that make it through the process. So anything that doesn't have THC in it is broad spectrum. So if you see a product that says full spectrum with 0 THC, you might want to consider not trusting that product. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
You know what, to add to that, I'm also a believer that full spectrum should retain as much of the plant as possible, even if it is in a concentrated form. For example, like a low pass raw crude oil, which could be a FSC full spectrum crude that can contain, in addition to all the phytocannabinoids, the antioxidant properties of the plant, like vitamin E, can contain the vitamin and minerals that are contained in the hemp plant naturally: phosphorus, iron, calcium, zinc. In addition to just the other phytonutrients that are available in the hemp plant. So I think the more that you can retain from the hemp plant into the concentrate, the better. And I also think that once you start taking away those plant properties, that's when you start losing some of the value of full spectrum as well, because I think it's a connection between the phytocannabinoids, the phytonutrients, and everything that's available in the hemp plant.
Yeah. The entourage effect is powerful.
It is, and even chlorophyll, if you find like chlorophyll by itself in stores, it's pretty expensive, and it's something that's naturally available in the hemp plant, and can be retained through low pass processing for oil. So I love full spectrum.
Me too. Once I tried full spectrum, I couldn't go back.
For me, like full spectrum, I like the bombs between isolate and full spectrum. Full spectrum bombs, from my experience, is so much better for swelling on your joints. If you have like DVT and your legs swelling, if you like retaining water, you have a lot of swelling. Full spectrum bombs and salves, like some people, pain creams, work so much better for swelling. So isolate works good. I use it. I just find that full spectrum is actually better depending like the weather. So when I was in New York, the isolate was working really good, but when it gets really cold, and I smoked the plant and I was rubbing my wrist, it was just, the feeling was so much better. So depending on where you live, what's the word? A personal preference. But if you don't have to worry about drug testing, then full spectrum is always the way to go.
The other thing, the hemp and phytocannabinoids aren't going to work the same for everybody. So it really is about getting to know your body and
Yes.
what works well with your body.
Yes. It
You
all
know,
starts with you.
everything that we know so far is pretty anecdotal, so it's all going to come from just trying it out. And just because if you find one product doesn't work doesn't mean another one might not, you know. So
Exactly.
Start small.
yeah, it's a journey to figure
Yes.
out which phytocannabinoids and which products are going to work for you.
For those of you who keep thinking that it's like pills, it's not like popping pills and feeling the instant relief. You have to keep taking it for, I always recommend at least 7 to 14 days. And that's where you could tell if it's helping you. And you can just adjust it. You take a little bit more. But you don't want to take too much now, you know, like Dr. Kim over on Hemp Hotline last week, he was saying that some people take so much that the body just discarded it, right? You know,
Yeah, essentially.
it's too much. You're taking too much. So just find what works for you, and you'll be okay.
It's like vitamin C. Our bodies can absorb so much that it can absorb, and then the rest of it goes into the urine. So, yeah, you wanna find out what's gonna work for you.
One thing about CBD isolate that I actually recently learned discussing with the owner of the CBD Soaking Salt brand, she only uses CBD isolate in her products, but she also adds specific essential oils that have terpenes to kind of add to that entourage effect. Because you know, terpenes are terpenes, they all have the same molecular form. So they'll be able to work together just as they would if, you know, you had actual other cannabinoid or phytocannabinoid compounds with the product. So she thinks that if she made a product that had like a broad spectrum product, that people wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the quality of her CBD isolate product and a broad spectrum product, because she feels like her product works amazingly just as it is with the terpenes and the CBD isolate. But again, it's all anecdotal.
And I mean, if you look at like how these terpenes are used in other resources, like these essential oils, these terpenes are used for themselves to have certain properties. So in addition to phytocannabinoids like THC, CBD, CBG, it's gonna, yeah, I see that having a great effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it. You know. Until next time.
Less distractions, you know.
Yeah, you're in there,
Yeah,
Bev.
Bevan, you're
Alright, cool.
in there crystal clear.
And I'd be like, Pete!